penalty should be abolished, chat, for many reasons. Number one, what if you killed the wrong person, right? That has happened today, as Missouri has executed Marcellus Williams, who I believe has also a chosen name, who I don't think is being reported on in this, which I believe is just for religious purposes. So this is another example of why the government shouldn't have the ability to kill a citizen. I mean, it's just an entirely unethical position to have. The death penalty should be abolished. And not just because you can get innocent people killed, but because we shouldn't give the government the right to do that. That's just crazy. Marcellus Williams, who spent more than 2 decades on Missouri's death row, convicted of a 1998 murder that he said he did not commit since 1998, died by lethal injection Tuesday evening after a lengthy and complex effort to exonerate him based on DNA testing issues. Williams, 55, was pronounced dead at Potosi Correctional Center in Mineral Point. After 2 last-minute execution reprieves started almost a decade ago, momentum to re-examine Williams' decades-old conviction gathered from unlikely sources, including the local prosecutor from the office that convicted him. The prosecutor from the office that convicted him wanted this turned over? Williams received an outpouring of support from legal groups such as the Midwest Innocence Project and a member of Congress. The family of the victim in the 1998 St. Louis stabbing came to oppose Williams' execution. This is insane. Even the family didn't want this to happen. Like, it's just murder. They just murdered a guy for not committing a crime. Missouri has. Late Tuesday afternoon, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to stay Williams' execution. The U.S. Supreme Court? Okay, sorry to say, if Hillary had won and you had voted for Hillary, person who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, this wouldn't have happened. I'm just saying. Like, straight up, a liberal court doesn't find this. The court's 3 liberal members, Justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, disagreed and said they would have granted the request to halt the execution. We are, of course, short a justice or two to get that done because we live in hell world. In a statement after the High Court's decision, an attorney for Williams listed people who had opposed his execution and fought for his removal from death row, including the St. Louis County prosecutors, who now admitted they were wrong and zealously fought to undo the conviction to save Mr. Williams' life. This is fucking crazy, dude. The St. Louis County prosecutors were admitting they were wrong, and the Supreme Court's like, nope, we're still going to kill him. What's the point? For what? For what? This is not justice, Tricia Rojo Bushnell said in a statement, and we must all question any system that would allow this to occur. The execution of an innocent person, in this most extreme manifestation of Missouri's obsession with finality over truth, justice, and humanity at any cost. Word. This is all bars. But the Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey and Governor Mike Parson, Republicans, of course, who opposed efforts to vacate Williams' conviction, the state long ago met its burden in finding Williams guilty. That's their argument. But they're saying that the evidence isn't matching. The NAACP, which had supported Williams' attempt to leave death row, called the execution a lynching. Fuck, that's strong words. Tonight, Missouri lynched another innocent black man, NAACP President Derek Johnson said in a statement. When DNA evidence proves innocence, capital punishment is not justice, it is murder. Missouri lynched another innocent black man. It's so frustrating to live in a place that is so fucking stupid. This just shouldn't be a law that we have. The government should not be allowed to kill anybody, right? You can't stop military action or whatever in self-defense, but like the government should not be able to execute you after a trial or whatever. There's just no reason that we should allow this. There's nothing that shows that this is a deterrent. Why was Marcellus Williams on death row? On August 11th, 1998, Felicia Alicia Gale, a former reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, was found stabbed to death in her suburban St. Louis home. Though forensic evidence at the crime scene included fingerprints, footprints, hair, and DNA on a kitchen knife, the investigation stretched on for more than a year without an arrest. Williams, who denied killing Gale, was eventually convicted of her murder despite the DNA not matching the forensic evidence recovered from the crime scene. His current attorney said his conviction was built upon testimony from two unreliable witnesses who had incentives to point the finger at Williams, reward money, and a bargain for shorter sentences in their own criminal cases. The Midwest Innocence Project, which took up Williams' case, said the incentives of the witnesses in his case were particularly problematic. Jailhouse informant testimony played a role in 23% of death penalty exoneration cases, according to data from the National Registry of Exonerations at the University of Michigan. So, I mean, people that are already desperate by the system are trying to throw other people under the bus. Like, it's crabs in the bucket, dude. It's just crabs in a bucket trying to get out of the bucket. What happened recently with Williams' case? Williams was twice spared from execution, first by the Senate Supreme Court in 2015 and 2017, when Eric Greitens, Republican, granted Williams a reprieve. Persuaded by arguments that new DNA testing exonerated Williams, Greitens appointed a board of inquiry to investigate the new claims. The board was abruptly disbanded in 2023 by Greitens' successor, Parson, before it issued a final report. Bailey, the attorney general, set a 2024 execution for Williams. It was like, why did they want to get this guy specifically? What the fuck? They were like out for this guy. It's like fucking part of their policy. Parson said last year that it was time to move forward with the execution. What the fuck, man? What a bloodthirsty sicko. Who's this fucking Missouri governor? Good old Mike Parson. Hey, do you guys want to see a piece of shit? There he is. There's the piece of shit. Fucking loser. Williams sued Parson on August 2023 for dissolving the board before it could issue a report, but the state Supreme Court dismissed the claim, clearing the way for execution. Oh, here's Parsons' quote. "We could stall and delay for another 6 years, deferring justice, leaving a victim's family in limbo and solving nothing." Parsons said in a press release, the administration won't do that. The family doesn't support this, though. The family should be able to revoke this at any time. St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell, Democrat, in recent months became among the staunchest supporters of Williams' claim for a DNA analysis, excluded Williams as the source of DNA on the murder weapon. Bell said his predecessors made constitutional errors that contributed to the faulty murder conviction. Those errors, according to Bell's motion to vacate the conviction, were the prosecution's mishandling of a key physical evidence and the office's use of a witness who had personal and financial incentive to testify against Williams. He said the new DNA testing could have exonerated Williams. So, I mean, like, the guy wasn't even there, obviously. But hours before a hearing on the evidence, Bell and Williams' team learned the DNA that excluded Williams belonged to former St. Louis prosecutor Keith Larner and an investigator who years earlier contaminated the murder weapon by handling it without gloves, according to court filings. Literally, the DNA they found on the weapon was the prosecutor and another investigator. First of all, they didn't find the killer, but they also didn't find the guy that they're trying to kill for this. They found the fucking investigators. Oh my, just a total, this is a shit show from start to finish. Bell's office then sought to spare Williams the death penalty with an Alford plea, which would allow Williams to plead guilty without admitting to the crime and result in life in prison. The state Supreme Court in Bailey blocked the deal. They just wanted the guy dead. This month, Williams' attorney argued before a St. Louis County Circuit Court judge that the prosecution's mishandling of evidence years ago, quote, destroyed Williams' last and best chance to prove his innocence. Attorney Jonathan Pott said, according to the Associated Press, the circuit court judge declined to vacate Williams' conviction and death sentence. Parson the governor, rejected Williams' clemency request, while the state Supreme Court on Monday rejected his request to pause his execution so a lower court could determine whether prosecutors wrongly excluded black potential jurors at his criminal trial. Lawmakers, including Rep. Cori Bush, also urged the state to stop Williams' execution, and it didn't work because he died today. If you're for the death penalty, you're a cuck. That's all there is to it. The death penalty is just unethical. And not just because innocent people die, but definitely because innocent people die. Like, it's absolutely part of the recipe here as to why it's unethical. What do you want, overlords? We shouldn't allow this. They are our employees and not kings and shit. Absolutely insane. What a disgusting country. What a disgusting state. Disgusting Supreme Court. Marcellus Williams deserved better.